This is Classic FM.
Hello, welcome to Classic FM Online. I'm Anne-Marie Minhall and I'm joined on the sofa today by the violinist David Garrett. David, welcome back to Classic FM. Very nice to have you here
Always
to talk
good
about...
to be a visitor here.
Well, we've got lots to talk about today. We've got to talk about your new album and what's going on in your life and all the tours that you're doing around the world, so plenty to fit in. Can we begin with Legacy, which is your new album, which includes the Beethoven Violin Concerto and also works by Fritz Kreisler. And you say the Beethoven is a work since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. You've always wanted to record.
Well, it's one of those concertos at some point in your lifetime you want to give it a go with. I think I performed it the first time when I was 11 with orchestra, so it's been in my repertoire for quite a long time. It's definitely a challenge. I mean, you normally get one take with the Beethoven and you better make it work. And of course there are hundreds of good and bad recordings of the Beethoven, so it is a challenge.
In terms of its endurability, why do audiences carry on falling in love with it, do you think?
I find it a bit of both sides. It's on the one hand quite complex and complicated work. On the other hand, I think Beethoven had a wonderful way of introducing motives which throughout the piece occurred in such numerous occasions that people just get hooked on a certain melody or a certain rhythm. And I think the Beethoven concerto is a wonderful example of that. So even though you might not realize it when you hear it the first time, for instance, the first 4 quarter notes in the first movement, one of my friends, Shlomo Mintz, once asked me to count them through. It's like over 1,200 times reoccurring. So even though maybe you don't have like the most classical ear when you hear this the first time, there is something which reminds you all the time of a motive or a melody. And I think that makes the whole composition very, very easy for the ear.
I'm glad you mentioned those opening bars, because early detractors, when it was first performed, described it as the kettle drum concerto. And you mentioned
it depends how you play the first 4 notes.
But you studied that with Yehudi Menuhin, didn't you?
I studied the Beethoven concerto literally with everybody I really respected and had the privilege of working with. I worked it with Ida Händel, I worked it over with Perlman. I did also have the chance to go through most of it with Menuhin, played it for Isaac Stern, so I guess good people to at least play this concerto for.
When you return to a work like the Beethoven Concerto, David, I mean, you said you played it when you were a lad, and now you're playing it at the age you are now. I mean, is it the sort of work that you discover new things about, different things about every time you approach it?
You have to force yourself to discover. You know, it always is an exploration. And what I really love to do is, especially when I play something which I have played before, like the Beethoven, is start fresh. Buy a new score and really start working again from what is originally in the score. And I think the most important question as an instrumentalist, as an interpreter of great music, is not to rely on things you've done yesterday, but really question why you did them. And I think then you get the best result.
And how did you enjoy recording it with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra and the conductor Ion Marin?
Well, Ion Marin I know since many, many years from Verbier, when actually I was working with Isaac Stern at that point. And he's a wonderful musician, great guy, and it was very comfortable to work with him. And of course the orchestra, they're very established and very professional. So it was a very, very quick recording and very pleasant to work with.
This is Classic FM.